Okay, in this lecture, I'm going to go over how to work on the Excel workbook for the second worksheet or the second Excel workbook for this week, for week 2 or topic 2. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. So on this screen right here, you'll see we've got the second worksheet, and you should have already done all of this work, but now we are getting down to the we're getting down to this content for the Excel workbook. And so it says you can access the Excel sheets on Canvas under Unit 1 topic. Also, this is the exact same workbook that you've already been working on for Unit 1 workbook. So I'm just going to open up Unit 1 workbook and bring it over here. And I just need to delete this really quick. But we've got the Unit 1 workbook, and the information that it has for us here, it says make a frequency table for height requirement, and then make a histogram. Then it says make a frequency table for age of rides for Magic Kingdom rides, make another frequency table for age of rides for rides not in the Magic Kingdom. So what that says, so make a histogram times, you've got to make 2 histograms. Sorry, I don't know why it says times 3. Then make a frequency polygon for polygons. And so this is how I want you to go about doing this. And then it also says make a scatter diagram. We'll get into that in just a second. Okay. Let's see here. So we're going to come right over here, and we're going to go to Disney World rides. And the very first thing that we need to do is do, let's see here, yep, insert, pivot table. And then, so it highlighted all the correct data. And you can scroll down to make sure, and then scroll over to make sure. Okay. And then I'm going to put it into existing worksheet for display continuous data. And I want to put it right there. And the very first thing that it asks for is display a frequency table for, or make a frequency table for height requirement. So I'm going to come over here because we've got the height requirement for all of the rides, and click height requirement in inches. So it'll put values right down there. Then come down here, it says height requirement inches. And so this is a little bit different than qualitative, because with qualitative, we have, this will always show up as count right away. But this right here, it shows up as sum. So this adds up all of the values. So there are several rides. In total, there are 2 that have a height requirement of 32 inches. I have no clue how many have a height requirement of 0. But so we've got all this information here. So instead of sum, what we need is to click on this and right click, or you can come up here and right click, show values as, or summarize values as count. Okay, so we have 27 rides, so on and so forth, going all the way down. And then we're going to do a count of height requirements in inches. Just update the title really quick. Okay, and so I've got this wonderful information, and I'm going to do insert. And there's 2 ways to go about doing this. I can do it just like this and click on bar chart and add the bar chart right there. Now, this is technically incorrect for a lot of different reasons. But what I'm going to do here is, it doesn't work. This is really, it is an accurate chart because 0, 32, 35, there's none of them that are touching. So you really have qualitative classes here. They're just different. And so instead of doing this, in order to really make it into quantitative classes, you've got to be able to do, go through the whole process of, okay, how many bins do you need, so on and so forth. I'm just for, well, let's do this. 2 to the k is greater than n, right? Equals 2 raised to the k. So what do we want here? Let's do 5. So 32. Is it greater than 46? So 2 raised to the k, or 2 raised to the 5th, is 36. let's do 2 raised to the 6th. So that says 64. Now, we have a range. The range is 48. And so if we wanted to, we could do a total of 6 classes. And I'm going to break this up and I'm going to group it. And I'm going to say start at 0, end at 48. And if I wanted to do 6 classes, what is 48 divided by 6? Well, that would be 8, right? And so there's definitely a problem there. So 0 to 7, and so you see this is a little weird, the way that it's all set up. But I don't really love the way that this goes about doing this, because who really wants to group by 8s? Nobody really wants to group by 8s. So that grouping number thing, it's more of a rule of thumb. What I am going to do is I'm going to group by a nice round 10. And so I'm going to click OK, and it's going to do 0 to 9, 30 to 39, 40 to 49. And so I've got this wonderful information right here, and I can do Control C. I'm going to pull this out of here, Control C, because when you pull it out, you actually have more flexibility with the way that you make things work. So I'm going to put it right there. And let's see here. I'm going to do 10 to 19. Whoops. Let's do text 10 to 19, 20 to 29, and then we have 0 and 0. So we've got frequency, count or frequency of height requirements in inches. Okay, the next thing that you can do, if you wanted to, you can do height requirements in inches and add another row. And you have the ability to now show values as % of grand total or % of column total. Okay, and then we can add another column. And I could put show values as running total in height of required inches. And so now what we have is 27 plus 6 plus 13. So this right here is cumulative frequency. Okay, and I'm going to add one more. And I am going to do show values as % running total in height requirements in inches. And this right here is cumulative relative frequency. Okay, so notice I have frequency, I have relative frequency, I have cumulative frequency, and I have cumulative relative frequency. So anytime that you hear the word relative frequency, you're dealing with what's it called? You're dealing with percentages. When you just hear frequency, you're dealing with the actual counts. So I'm going to copy and paste this information, Control C. And once again, the reason why I'm copying and pasting this information down here is because it's not giving me the 10 to 19 and 20 to 29, and we do need those. And so I'm going to put this, and I should have just Control C, except these are relative frequency and cumulative. So we will put 0, 0 right there. And then for cumulative frequency, this is correct, and cumulative relative frequency, this is also correct. So what we're going to do now is we're going to, so we've got all of this wonderful information here, which this is actually a little overkill for what I asked you guys to do. I only asked for a frequency table. So you really only needed to do this part. But I really wanted to show you there's a difference between a frequency, relative frequency, cumulative frequency, and cumulative relative frequency. And I'm about to show you some more graphs that really show you the difference between all of that as well. I mean, it does show you it right here as well, but yeah. So we have the categories 0 to 9, 10 to 19, or not the categories, but the classes. These are quantitative classes or groups. And so we've got all this wonderful information here. And then we have all the corresponding information here. So we're going to do insert. And we're going to do bar chart. And the reason why it's a bar chart and not a histogram, because you do histogram on raw data. And you do bar charts when you have a summarized data. So we've got summarized data, so we've got to use the bar chart, and we're going to do the gap width of 0. And you're going to see, okay, you have a gap width of 0, but you have nothing there. Why are there gaps there? The reason why is because those are zeros. Okay, so we've got the frequency of height in inches. Next thing that we're going to do is we are going to do let's do, okay, so I highlighted this and then I pressed Control and I highlighted the relative frequency column, and I'm going to do insert, once again, bar chart. And so that didn't work the way that I wanted it to. So I'm going to delete this. Sometimes things just don't work. Let's try this one more time. Insert. There we go. You'll see relative frequency. Once again, I can do the same thing where I can click on this and come over to the information where it says format data series. And I can say gap width. I want the gap width to be 0. And I was trying to do this on the computer in the other day in class, and it wasn't working the way that I wanted it to. It wouldn't let me go down to 0. I had to actually physically move it down to 0. So just be aware there might be some glitches depending on what computer you're using. So I'm going to do the same thing again, cumulative frequency, and I'm going to do insert bar chart. And so now we've got cumulative frequency, and you'll see I'm going to go 0. You'll notice, okay, we have 0 to 9, and then it doesn't add anything, and then adds a little bit more, and then adds a little bit more. So this is cumulative frequency. And then next we have cumulative relative frequency. So I'm going to go like this, and Control, and insert, once again, bar chart, and come right down here. And I am going to do 0. Okay, now I want to show you the difference between these. You have a chart that shows the frequency. Okay, the frequency has 26-ish, 27, and then shows you the frequency down here for these classes. So you've got the frequency of this class, the frequency of this class, the frequency of this class, and you'll notice on the left-hand side right here on the on this axis right here, on the y-axis, you're going to see the actual frequencies. Okay, the relative frequency and cumulative relative frequency. On the y-axis, you're going to see the percentages or the relative, to the whole. So the relative frequency, it looks identical, right? But the big difference is what is it that's over on this left-hand side? So frequency and relative frequency should be, the same when you're dealing with just one observation. As far as looking the same when you're dealing with just one variable here. And so the big difference is relative, you're always going to have the percentages. This right here, I really, it should not go up to 1.2. So I'm going to put the max as 1. And the reason why is because it can never get above 100. But cumulative frequency, cumulative relative frequency, once again, they look pretty much the same. Big differences is this is going up to, this is all dealing in percentages, and this is dealing with the actual frequencies. Okay, so that's how you would go about doing that. Next thing, the frequency table for age of riders in years. So I'm going to copy and paste this, Control C. And I'm going to accept, oh, that didn't work. Maybe it did, I'm not sure, hold on. Oh, I know why. I need to exit out of that. There we go. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say, get rid of all this. And I'm going to do age of ride in year. Okay, and you'll see all this wonderful information anywhere between 3.7 all the way up to 49.92. And so sum of age, instead of sum of age, once again, we don't want sum, we're dealing with frequencies. So we're going to change this to count. Okay, count. So this right here would be frequency. And so we've got frequency, and we want to know, how are we going to group this again? So we've got to make the choice. How many rides are there again? There's a total of 46, and the range is about 50. So equals 2 raised to the 6th. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to tell you, hey, we want 6 categories or 6 classes. And I'm going to tell you that 5 is still much cleaner. And because 5 is cleaner, because it looks prettier, easier to understand, I still want you to stick with 5. And so I'm going to group, and I'm going to start at 0. And I'm going to end at 50. And I'm going to group by 10. Okay, and you'll notice 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. So we have the frequency. So this right here is the age of ride in years. And then we have the frequency, and then we're going to add it again. And we're just going to do this 4 times, a total of 4 times. And so I'm going to change this, show values as, or summarize values as, so we still got count. And then we're going to do frequency, then we're going to do relative frequency, so percent of grand total. Okay, and then we're going to do cumulative frequency, summarize values, show values as running total in age of ride in years. Okay, so now this is the running total. And then we're going to do show values as percent of running total in age of ride in years. And so this gives you the frequency, this gives you the relative frequency, and this gives you the cumulative, or yeah, cumulative frequency. This gives you the cumulative relative frequency. Okay, so we've got all of this, and this is for all the rides. Okay, age of all rides. So age of all rides, we've got 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. Okay, so we're going to copy this, and I'm going to bring it down here. And the reason why, so we've got age of all rides. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add a filter. So I now have 3 different frequency tables. I've got a frequency table, or I've got a pivot table right here. We've got a pivot table right here, and I've got another pivot table right here. And this pivot table right here, I'm going to add a filter. And so the filter that I'm going to say is park location. And the park location, I only want the ones that are in Magic Kingdom. And so now these are the ones that are in Magic Kingdom. Okay, now I'm going to add one more. Control C, Control V, and it's going to say park location. Instead of Magic Kingdom, I'm going to say select multiple. I'm going to uncheck Magic Kingdom, and I want everything except Magic Kingdom. So I'll show you that one more time. It says select multiple items. So this is what it looked like, and I clicked select multiple items. And instead of all, I clicked Adventure Kingdom, Epcot, and then, or Animal Kingdom, Epcot, and Hollywood Studios, and pressed OK. So now I have Age of Ride in Magic Kingdom. I have Age of Ride not in Magic Kingdom. And then I have Age of Rides all. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do something very similar to this. Now I could do the same frequency table, relative frequency, cumulative frequency for each one of these, right? But I don't want to do that. Okay, what I want to do is I want to compare all to Magic Kingdom to not Magic Kingdom. So I'm going to make 4 different tables. Okay, So coming down here, age of ride all. Well, actually, I'm going to do age of rides. And then I'm going to say all, and then I'm going to do in Magic Kingdom, not in Magic Kingdom. Okay. And I'm going to do 4 of these. So let's see, format painter, I'm going to put it right there. And so I'm going to do the very first one is going to be for frequency. The next one is going to be relative frequency. The next one is going to be cumulative frequency. The next one is going to be cumulative relative frequency. And once again, I'm just going to do all Magic Kingdom, not in Magic Kingdom, all Magic Kingdom, not in Magic Kingdom. And so I just copied that over and over again. There's lots of different ways to do this. And I think I'm actually going to do this slightly differently. I'm going to make different, I feel like this is going to be easier to follow if I make them Control X. If I make them different tables. There we go. Control C, Control V, and then oops. So we've got frequency, relative frequency, cumulative frequency, then cumulative relative frequency. And I'm just going to delete all of these and no borders, no highlighting. So I'm going to have 4 different things. So I'm basically going to take this content and I'm going to do Control C. And I'm going to say, okay, frequency all, relative frequency, Control C, put it right there. Cumulative frequency, then cumulative relative frequency. Okay, next, we come up here and we say, okay, age of rides just in Magic Kingdom. Control C, and we're going to put it in Magic Kingdom frequency. Now there's a little problem here. We have 0 to 10, 20 to 30, then 40 to 50. So 0 to 10, 0 to 10 to 20, nope, there's not a 10 to 20. Is there a 30 to 40? Nope. So what we have here is we've got Control X, there we go. And so I just cut and paste. So now we've got the frequency. And so this needs to say 0 and 0. Okay. Next, we have in Magic Kingdom, relative frequency. We do the same exact thing. So relative frequency. Okay. And we are going to do cumulative frequency, Control C. Now it's really important for cumulative frequency when you have gaps like that, just put whatever the number is above that. So this number is 2, so we're going to leave it as 2. This number is 8, we're going to leave it as 8. And then this goes to 23. Okay, so these are the ones in Magic Kingdom. And you'll notice 2, 6, then 15. You add those up and it goes 2, 2, 8, 8, 23. Okay, and right here, you're going to put 0 and 0. Because there's nothing there for relative frequency. Next, we're going to do cumulative relative frequency for Magic Kingdom. Okay, and then we're once again, Control C, whoops. And so the cumulative relative frequency, you do the same thing as what you just did right here. And then last but not least, you do the same thing for park location. And so we're going to see, and what are we missing here? We're missing 40 to 50. So this is really easy. And we'll fill those in just a second. And so this goes to 100 again, 23, and then 13.4. So this is going to be 0, and this is going to be 0. So the reason why we did this, we made lots of different tables, right? We made lots of different frequency tables. So it says, here's the frequency for all in Magic Kingdom, not in Magic Kingdom. Here's the relative frequency for all in Magic Kingdom, not in Magic Kingdom. Here's the cumulative frequency for each one of these classes for all in Magic Kingdom, not in Magic Kingdom. And then last but not least, here's the cumulative relative frequency for all in Magic Kingdom, not in Magic Kingdom. And what this allows us to do is, this is going to allow us really easily, you just highlight this right here, and we're going to do insert, and we're going to do pie chart, or sorry, not pie chart, we're going to do, why can't I think, we're going to do the frequency polygon. And yes, I am well aware that that took a little bit of extra time to be able to get that done. So sorry about that, but this will really help you to thoroughly understand exactly what we're doing. And so I'm going to do the same thing right here, and I'm going to do insert frequency polygon, and then do the same thing down here, insert frequency polygon, and then last but not least, insert frequency polygon. Okay, so now I'm going to put a cumulative relative frequency of age of rides. I'm just going to copy and paste this. Control C to cumulative frequency of age of rides. And then this right here is relative frequency of age of rides. And then this is frequency. So all four of these charts are very similar. Actually, I'm just going to Control C and put them right next to each other. All four of these charts are very similar, but very different. Because they tell, they used all the exact same information, but they use them in different ways, so that way we can understand what we're looking at. And this is the whole point of a frequency polygon. So a frequency polygon is allowing you to compare multiple variables at the exact same time. And so let's see here. The relative frequency of age of rides. That's not right. Not in Magic Kingdom. Hold steady. All Magic Kingdom. Oh, okay. Blue is all. That makes sense. Let me. So I'll show this to you really quick. The frequency of age of rides. Right here, it shows right over here for rides that are 0 to 10 years of age. They're 7 years old. Or there's 7 that are all. There are 5 that are not in Magic Kingdom, and there are 2 that are in Magic Kingdom. Then coming over here, rides 10 to 20 years of age. There are 0 that are in Magic Kingdom. There are 8 that are not in Magic Kingdom, as well as all, because there's 0, so that means that they're going to be the same. And you can go all the way down, all the way across, and you'll see not in Magic Kingdom, they do the same thing. There's 0 right here for not in Magic Kingdom, and for all, there are a total of 15 that are 40 to 50 years old in both Magic Kingdom and all. Okay, coming right over here, cumulative frequency age of rides. Okay, so this is very similar. These two are very similar, but what it does is it adds in Magic Kingdom, it goes 0 to 10. 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and whatever you have in 10 to 20 gets added to 0 to 10 to give you this. So obviously they added 0 here because it's the same in both, but not in Magic Kingdom, you'll notice it goes up. Then it goes up again, then it goes up again, and then there's nothing in 40 to 50. So the cumulative ends right there. And there's a total of 23 rides that are not in Magic Kingdom that are 30 to 40 years of age or less. So that's how you would read that. Or the same thing, there are 23 rides that are not in Magic Kingdom that are 40 to 50 years of age or less. Or if you came down here, you would be able to say 10 to 20. Okay, there's about 13 rides that are not in Magic Kingdom that are 10 to 20 years of age or less. Okay. And then all, you'll notice it goes up in this nice little trend line for all, for cumulative. And so you'll see, okay, for all, it's 40 to 50. There's 46 that are 40, 50 years old or less, and you can do the same thing all the way down. And then the relative frequency of age of rides. We've got, once again, all in Magic Kingdom, not in Magic Kingdom. You notice the relative frequency, it's similar, but because the values aren't the same, you know, the gray looks like the gray, the blue looks similar to the blue, the orange looks similar to the orange, but it's not like this identical picture. And the reason why is because the values that you're dealing with aren't the same. If they were all the exact same, you know, all these lines would be identical up here and up here, but this is the relative frequency. And because of that, all is going to be, it's not an average of the two of these, but it's going to be pretty close to in the middle of the two of these because of various reasons. So in Magic Kingdom, there are a total of, or 8.7% of the rides are 0 to 10 years of age. And then coming right here, 21% of the rides are 0 to 10 years of age for a not Magic Kingdom. But then for all, it's going to be 15.22% of rides are 0 to 10 years of age. And then going down here, the same thing, you could be like 20 to 30 years of age. You've got 26% are 20 to 30 years of age for in Magic Kingdom. 30.43 are not in Magic Kingdom that are 20 to 30 years of age. And then all rides that are 20 to 30 years of age are 30.43. And then this one is probably one of the most unique ones that we have here, which is the cumulative relative frequency. And so you've got all in the middle right here. And you're like, why is all not up on the very top? You know, all should be on the very top. And, you know, once again, relative, all is not on the very top, all is more in the middle. And the reason why is because you're talking about relative. You've got to look at, it's the sum total of everything that you're looking at. So you've got in Magic Kingdom, not in Magic Kingdom, and then all. And so we're able to compare all three of them right next to each other going all the way up. And so you can say 20 to 30 years of age, there are 34.78% that are 20 to 30 years of age or less. There are 60.87 of all rides that are 20 to 30 years of age or less, and 86.96 that are 20 to 30 years of age or less. And so that's how you would do that. And I know that this is definitely one of the more complicated things that you would do, but if you've done this and actually worked through all of this, you're going to have absolutely no problems working through relative frequency, cumulative frequency, any of these concepts on a quiz, on an exam, on anything, because this is definitely a little bit harder than what you know, you will have to actually do. It's a lot to take in, but it really shows you the difference between frequency, cumulative relative frequency, and relative frequency. So hope that was beneficial, and yeah.